the next active study method is quizzing yourself. If you are a member of this community, we know that I'm always stressing on the fact that you have to make your brain remember. I was teaching some students yesterday and I used this example, and I'm going to use it again in this video. When you are first exposed to an information, the brain stores the information in your short-term memory. So if you do not ask the brain about that information again, the brain will be like, okay, this lady does not need this information again, so I'm going to do away with it. Because of course you learn a lot of things every day, so the brain will do away with the one you don't come back to retrieve. But when you come back to retrieve it, the brain will be like, wow, so this information is very, very important, so I'm going to push it from short-term memory to long-term memory. So and that's the difference between passive and active. You know, in passive study, after you've given the brain the information for the first time, the next time you want to read it again, so you are reading the information again, instead of you trying to ask the brain for the information, that is, instead of you to recall the information, you are reading the information again, like you are reading your notes to put back the information again into your brain, and that is not so wonderful. Okay, so the best thing to do is to ask the brain, okay, Mr. Brain, I'm in need of this information, can you give it to me? If the brain cannot give you that information, that is when you go back to your book and then read that information again and give the brain that information the second time. That time the brain will be like, I don't want this guy's troublemaking. So the brain will carry that information and put it in your long-term memory, so that whenever you need that information, the brain will give it to you. There will be some time when the brain will now be like, okay, I've stored this information in long-term memory and this young man has not asked me for it. It means that he doesn't need this information again, so the brain will do away with it, even though it's in the long-term memory. So when you want to remember it, you might find the information not so clear because the brain has removed it. That is where spaced repetition comes in. If you are not yet acquainted with what spaced repetition is, you can watch my video on spaced repetition and you'll learn how to push information to your long-term memory using spaced repetition. But today we're talking about active study. So another active study method is what? Retrieval, quizzing yourself, asking yourself questions after studying something. Ask yourself question. You can use flashcards to retrieve. Try to answer questions from that particular passage that you've read, from that particular topic you've read. Ask yourself question. Don't jump to another topic if you've not answered question on that. What I do when I study is that once I finish studying that particular concept, I normally try to watch videos, study my textbook, and then I'll go and look for questions around that concept, because questions will help me understand that topic more. I'm telling you the truth. I've read some topics and I felt like I understood them, but when I saw the question, it was something else. So I had to go back and answer the question using the notes, the textbook, or the video, and that will help me to understand it more. So don't trivialize the power of answering questions, quizzing yourself.